Hi, in this video we're doing a sequence to strengthen the back. And when we strengthen the back, we help to alleviate back pain. So let's meet on the mat. Let's start in tabletop. Knees are hip width distance apart, hands are shoulder distance apart. And from tabletop, flip the toes of the left foot, stretch the back of the left leg. And then bring the left leg back. Flip the toes of the right foot, stretch the back of the right leg. Right leg comes back. Again, left leg. This time bring the right leg to meet it, so we're in plank. Just holding plank for a couple of breaths. One of the best ways to strengthen the back is just to hold plank. It activates the inner core muscles and really protects the back. From plank, deep breath in. On the exhalation, bend the elbows and lower all the way down to the mat. Now reach the arms back on a diagonal. We'll call this airplane arms, palms down. And release the forehead down to the mat. Going into locust pose. We're going to start off by reaching the toes towards the wall behind you. Reach the toes towards the wall behind you, so much so that the legs start to rise up off the mat. Reach the toes, reach the feet, legs rise up off the mat. And release. Take a couple of breaths. Now let's do a second variation of locust pose. We start the same. Start by lengthening the toes, the feet, the legs rise up off the mat. Now this time press into the palms of the hands and bring the torso up. Lengthen from the top of the head to the toes in two opposite directions. Keep lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Good, and release. Take a couple of breaths. And we'll do a third variation of locust pose. Starts off the same. Lengthen the toes towards the wall behind you. Lengthen the feet, legs rise up off the mat. Reaching the legs, lengthening back towards the wall behind you. Press into the palms of the hands, torso comes up, lengthening from the top of the head to the toes in two opposite directions. Now, bring the hands up off the mat as well. Hands floating up off the mat. Lengthening the fingertips towards the toes behind you, reaching in opposite directions. And release. Beautiful. Now place the hands on either side of the chest. Spread the fingers, strong hands. We're going to start off with a variation of cobra pose without using the hands. So bring the hands up off the mat, just floating 1 or 2 inches above the mat. Deep breath in. On the exhalation, rising up, curling the spine, only using back muscles. Keep pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Make sure you're breathing. And release. Now reach the arms back, airplane arms, palms down. Deep breath in. On the exhalation, curling the spine up, broaden the collarbones. Make sure you're breathing. This is very similar to locust, right? But the tops of the feet are pressing into the mat here. And release. Beautiful. Now interlace the fingers behind the back. Deep breath in. On the exhalation, curling up. Keep pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Broaden the collarbones. Curl the upper spine. See if you can soften the lower back. And only curl the upper back. Reach the knuckles towards the heels behind you. Can you also reach the tailbone at the bottom of the spine? Can you reach the tailbone back towards the heels? Soften the lower spine, curl the upper spine. Breathe. And release. Awesome. Now place the hands on either side of the chest. Deep breath in on the exhalation, curling up into cobra. So when we're flowing in a vinyasa or a sun salutation, we go into cobra on the inhalation. But when we're focusing on the pose and just trying to perfect the pose, then we go into it on an exhalation. We go into it on a sense of surrender. And release. Beautiful. We'll do cobra one more time. Deep breath in on the exhalation, curling up into cobra. Make sure the elbows are bent close to the body. Make sure the shoulder blades are pointing down towards the waist. Look straight ahead in front of you. Soften the shoulders. Breathe. And release. Awesome. Place one hand on top of the other hand, your forehead on your hand. Breathe and rest. Now coming up into upward facing dog. So for cobra, we had the hands on either side of the chest. For upward dog, the hands are on either side of the waist. Another difference is that for cobra, the elbows were bent. For upward facing dog, the elbows are going to be straight. Also in cobra, the legs were on the mat. For upward facing dog, the legs are off the mat. So here we go. Deep breath in on the exhalation, curling up, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Hands are on either side of the waist. Elbows are straight, legs come up off the mat. We're on tops of the feet. Curling the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Tilt the head up, look up at the ceiling. See if you can soften the lower back. Bring your awareness to your breath. Allow your breath to flow. It might be very shallow, that's okay. Just allow the breath to flow. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And release. Beautiful. We'll do one more upward facing dog. When you're ready, place the hands on either side of the waist. Deep breath in on the exhalation, pushing all the way up. Again, we're going into this pose on an exhale, on a point of surrender, because we're breaking the pose down, really focusing on it. When we are flowing through a vinyasa, then we go into this pose on an inhale. Check in with your breath. Soften the lower back, curl the upper back. Awesome. And release down to the floor. Take a couple of breaths. Now place the hands on either side of the chest. Flip the toes under. Deep breath in on the exhalation. Push all the way up to plank. Deep breath in. Now downward facing dog. Reach the sit bones up towards the ceiling. And now bring the knees down to the mat, wide apart, big toes together, child's pose. Breathe and rest. Hi, I hope that you enjoyed this sequence. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.